everybody. All right, so today is Tuesday. We're going to look into figurative language for grammar, all right? Now, whenever I get back, I'm going to show you how to access this. It's called Quizlet. It's an app that we'll use quite frequently, okay? I'm on the teacher version. I'm going to show you how to log into the student version whenever I get back on Thursday. But figurative language is language that uses words or expressions with a meaning that is different from the literal interpretation. For example, on our cold read quiz last week, we had a lot of it, one of which was over the moon. Now, that would actually mean, if I was saying it literally, like we see the word literal interpretation here, that would mean I'm actually flying over the moon, okay? Me, personally, in a spaceship flying over the moon, okay? Now, that is kind of what this passage meant as well, because it was talking about NASA in space. But if I were talking about being over the moon, about coming back this Thursday, it means I'm overly excited to be coming back, okay? That was an idiom. So we're going to go back in this Quizlet, which are basically flashcards, and we're going to understand the meaning of a few different types of figurative language. This is not new material. This is review. And in 5th grade, they don't care if you know what a simile is. They don't care that you can tell them a simile is comparing two unlike things using the words like or as. They care about whether or not you understand what it means in the passage itself, okay? Just like on our cold read test on Friday, okay? So we're just reviewing what the terms mean. We have to know what they mean before we can know what they are, all right? So a simile is what I just said, comparing two unlike things using the word like or as. Like, my dog is as smelly as dirty socks. What do we mean by that? It means our dog stinks really badly. Now, quite similarly, a metaphor is a comparison of two unlike things too, but you don't use like or as. You're using it directly, meaning life is a journey. Does it really mean we're taking a walk in life? No, it just means life takes a long time and it has a lot of ups and downs. It's like a journey, right? But instead of using like or as, I'm just going to say life is a journey. Life is a dance. Life is a dream, all right? So similes and metaphors go together. Similes, we're comparing things using like or as, sometimes other words as well we'll get into later. Metaphor doesn't use any of those words. It's just a direct comparison, all right? All right, personification. I love the word personification because it has the word person in it. Personification is a figure of speech which an object or animal is given human feelings, thoughts, or an attitude. The movie Cars personifies cars because they're doing what humans do. They're talking, they're speaking, they're looking, they're paying for items, they are shopping in stores, they are driving from place to place. Even though they still do car things, they're essentially having human feelings, thoughts, and attitudes. I always remember it, even though it's a tricky word. Personification has the word person in it. All right? 4, onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is how you spell it. I like onomatopoeia, but it's not that important necessarily. Imitations of sounds. Pop, bam, zoom, puff. That's what the picture shows us. All right? Buzz, sound words. Imagery. Almost every single figure of speech or thing that you read in fiction is going to have imagery. So imagery is the last one I want us to look at whenever we're trying to identify what something is in the story. But it's descriptive text that creates a picture in your mind with your 5 senses. Sight, smell, taste, sound, touch, image creates an image in your mind. That's why I like the word imagery, because it creates an image in your mind of what's going on in the story. Hyperbole, hyperbole. Hyper means extreme. Once we get into those in our structures unit, we're going to have hyper in here. It's a morpheme. It's a word meaning, okay? Hyper means extreme. So hyperbole, some people say hyperbole. It's pronounced hyperbole. Hyperbole is how you spell it. Extreme exaggeration. This weighs a ton. Does it actually weigh a ton? Of course not. We can't pick something up that weighs a ton. It just means it weighs a lot. Alliteration isn't always tested in 5th grade, but we're still going to understand it. Words that have the same beginning consonant sounds, not always the same letter. It sounds. Some, smug, slug. Now, did that all start with the letter S? Yes. But it essentially is the sound that's repeated. Some, smug, slug. S-s-s. is repeated. All right, and then we have the definition of figurative language again, and then we've got an idiom. That's kind of what over the moon was. I'm feeling over the moon, excited about coming back on Thursday. An idiom is an expression whose meaning is different from the meaning of its individual words, not literal. It's raining cats and dogs as an example. It's not really raining cats and dogs unless you're in this picture. It just means it's raining a lot or raining really hard, all right? Over the moon is the same thing. It doesn't mean we're actually going over the moon. It just means we're really excited, okay? Now, there are tons of different things we're going to do with Quizlet, but today we just used it to go through the words and meanings, okay? All right, I'm going to click off and create a second video about how we're going to apply what we learned to the actual words or the phrases, the figurative language within the story we've read about so far, okay?